Welcome back, guys. I'm gonna do a requested video on a topic that doesn't really apply to you guys who are thinking about coming to Prime, but it's a topic I've touched on when I've done the truck tour. Just kind of showed you the in-transit heat system, but just going to show you how the in-transit works, how you know when you need to use the in-transit heat, what it's for, things like that. So we're going to do a topic today on the in-transit heat system, its function, how it works, how you hook it up, and all that stuff. So first thing, the in-transit heat system, we're just going to talk about it, is specifically for oil that has, or product that has a high melting point. Basically, if you have, and I have a blended oil, and this is a soy shortening blended oil. So it's a blend of soy and palm oils, and it's a shortening type that the bill of lading says it's 148 degrees. The melting point for this particular oil is around 140 degrees. So if it cools off just 8 degrees, it's going to turn to solid. Now, typically, the oil doesn't cool off very rapidly. These trailers are insulated. They have around 6 inches of insulation. So it takes a while for the product to cool off. So for those 8 degrees, basically, if you leave the dome lid open, you're going to drop about 1 degree per hour. So leaving the lid open, it's going to take 8 hours for this product, which was loaded at 148 degrees, to drop to its melting point and then turn it back into a solid product. For me, as a dedicated regional type driver, the odds of it dropping those 8 degrees while the lid is closed is not great. Today's delivery, it was due here at 2 o'clock. I got here really early. I actually got here a little over an hour and a half early for my appointment. Got here about 12:30. It actually loaded last night at about 11 p.m. If the lid had been open the entire time, I might be in trouble. But since it's an enclosed system, this oil didn't have a great chance of starting to solidify. However, even if it drops a couple of degrees, it's going to start becoming waxy. So you really like to keep it as close to that 148 degrees, which, I'll show you here on this particular, you can see right here, 148 degrees. It's a blended oil going to General Mills in Caledonia, Ohio, is where this one is being delivered. With the dedicated account that I do, basically any oil that's above 120 degrees is going to be is going to need heat. So otherwise, a lot of the over-the-road drivers, it will specify on the bill of ladings. There is no note on here that says heat is required. There is a load tender, which is a second page with the bills that the company keeps, that may make a notation that this oil requires heat or does not require heat. Just because it has a high temperature does not necessarily mean that it requires heat. There's a product that's 120 degrees that we haul that can drop to room temperature, drop to probably 78 degrees, and it's never going to harden. Well, it's not never going to harden, but its melting point is probably about 50 degrees. So we don't worry about heat on that particular product. That's one of those, you ask questions, you get to know the products that we haul, and we haul a lot of the same stuff out of Decatur and out of Bellevue, so you get to know which products need heat, which products do not need heat. So that's the basics of heat. Always read your paperwork. It's pretty easy to just say, well, this is on trailer 357227. I'll check my seal numbers, make sure that this is the right product going to the right place. So you've got the right trailer, you've got the right seals on it, it's got the right address, let's go. But there's additional information that you need. You need to know what type of oil you're hauling, and then you need to read the rest of the instructions, which may have then some details about what the company requires once you get there. So that's the quick introduction. We're gonna quickly stop, go outside. I'm gonna show you the hookup for the in-transit heat system. It's really a simple connection. I'll show you that, and then I'll come back in and show you the control on the dash for the in-transit heat system. That's another real simple switch, and then we'll wrap up the video. So here is the in-transit heat system. I still have my train horn on the back, haven't taken that off yet, but this is the Webasto heater. You got the two hoses coming out the back, and then they attach right to the trailer. This is gonna be hot because you've got coolant from the engine and from the trailer running through these. So these are warm, and this is hot. In fact, you can check the temperature. It's currently flowing at about 82 degrees. So this is warm to the touch. You've got coolant flowing through. You got the valves open. It's just a simple push connect, send and return to send coolant through the system. So real simple controls. When you're done, you shut the valves. The valve on the truck are over there. So simple valves on the truck, simple valves on the trailer, and push to connect. We'll go back inside and I'll show you the connection and the switch to turn it on. And that is the very simple switch to turn on the tank heater. Like I said, that's all there is to it. There is no temperature. You don't have to set, hey, it's 148 degree product, hey, it's 160 degree product. It's a simple on or off switch. So looks kind of fancy with the red cover on it, but it is just a switch to turn the tank heater on and off. So that's it on the tank heater. Really simple process. It's one of those that you can get yourself in trouble by not using it. I almost never use my tank heater in the summer, really in the fall or spring. Don't use it a whole lot, but if it starts to get cooler, it's a cooler day, about 35 degrees today, I start worrying about products setting up. And that's basically the bottom line is, when you're talking about only 8 degrees of cooling, you want to maintain, and you're never going to, the whole point of the tank heater is to maintain the temperature of the product. As you saw, the coolant currently flowing through is at 82-ish degrees. It's because the truck is off right now. It's just the heater running. That's why the APU is running right now. It's trying to keep it at least a little bit warmer. When the truck's running and it's 150 some degrees, you're not going to warm the product up. Bottom line being, if you let the product cool off down to 140 degrees and you have to try and remelt that, you're not going to do it with the heat system here. You're going to need to go to a tank wash. A lot of tank washes have either steam or a coolant system of their own that they can circulate through. And again, if I didn't say it at the beginning of the video, all we're doing is we are circulating coolant, transmission fluid, through the engine, out the back, and those two hoses into the trailer, and it coils around the tank and the insulation to maintain the heat. There's about 3 gallons of additional coolant in the trailer, and you maintain the heat, maintain the temperature of the product, and you're just trying to maintain it so it doesn't cool off and solidify. Because if you get, this is a 45,000 pound load. If you get 45,000 pounds that cools off 15 degrees, and all of a sudden you got a solid chunk of wax, basically, you're not going to be able to deliver your product. And you're going to have to go to a tank wash, and they're going to have to be able to figure out how to melt that product So that's the whole point of the tank heater, the whole point of in-transit heat. Because we do not carry product that is 80 degrees, 70 degrees. I think there's a few that are cooler products, but most of them are warmer. Again, this one's 148 degrees. What I had yesterday was 120 degrees. You want to make sure that it maintains the liquid form. That's the whole product of the in-transit heat. It's how you hook it up. It's very simple. You just have to make sure it's an additional connection to the trailer when you disconnect, instead of just the air lines and the electrical hookup. Just make sure you take those off as well, because it is a push to connect instead of, breakaway. If you disconnect and you forget to disconnect those, if you're separating from a trailer and you forget to disconnect those connections, the connection is stronger than the hose. You're going to rip pipe off of the back of your truck or off of the front of the trailer, and then that gets costly to fix. That's all that is. So, but that's the in-transit heat system. If you have any questions, ask in the comments. I'm going to do one more video next week. Want to let you guys know. Then I'm going to take a little bit of a break for the holidays here. Hope you guys have a great holiday season. Enjoy the sleep testing part 3 video coming up next week. We're going to recap my whole trip to Springfield and let you know how that all went and what went through there. If you do want to come to Prime, if you've sat through this whole video and are not a current employee but are thinking about coming to Prime, click on the link in the application below. That'll take you directly to it. You don't have to go searching for the application. Thanks for watching this week. One more next week, and then we'll take a little bit of a holiday break. So thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next week.